Joseph Smith claimed, "We have imagined and supposed that God was God from all eternity. I will refute that idea and take away the veil so that you may see." Now, when he gives this sermon, I want you to imagine you're a Latter-day Saint hearing this for the first time. Joseph Smith gets up and he says, "We have imagined and supposed that God was God from all eternity." And you're thinking, now where have I imagined and supposed that? I mean, Smith is addressing a thought that he knew was prevalent at that time. You have imagined and supposed that God was God from all eternity. Where would we imagine this? Well, I think we would have imagined it probably from reading the Old Testament. In Psalm 90, verse 2, it says, "Before the mountains were brought forth, wherever thou hast formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God." I'm reading from the Joseph Smith translation here. So it's not that Mormons shouldn't know about this. The Bible makes it very clear that God was everlasting. Now, when you're talking to a Latter-day Saint, you need to be very specific about this. Because just to say that God is eternal is really no big deal in the conversation, because Mormonism teaches that man is eternal. According to the Doctrine and Covenants, section 93, it says that man was in the beginning with God. We are all eternal creatures, if you will, according to Mormonism. So to say, for a Mormon to tell you that they believe in the eternal God really does not communicate anything at this part in the conversation. What they need to explain to you is, well, if he was eternal, do you believe he was eternally God? Now that narrows it down. And in that area, a Mormon could not say yes. Because as Joseph Smith said, "We have imagined and supposed that God was God from all eternity. I will refute that idea and take away the veil so that you may see." And he goes on to explain how his God, the one that he represents, of whom he is a prophet for, was once a human being like us. And he goes on to explain that in that sermon. What about this passage? If all you had was the Book of Mormon, you would never understand what Joseph Smith was saying in that sermon that we quoted earlier. In Moroni chapter 8, verse 18, in the Book of Mormon, it says, "For I know that God is not a partial God, neither a changeable being, but he is unchangeable from all eternity to all eternity."